Here we have another u-substitution example problem for evaluating integrals. So we want to evaluate the following integral using u-substitution. And so the first step in using u-substitution is defining our u and du terms. And so when we're thinking of which term in our integral to define as our u term, what we want to think about is what can I take the derivative of? So which term can I take the derivative of in order to get or a surrounding term, right? So when we look at x squared, we know that when we take the derivative of x squared, it's just 2x, and that doesn't really help us for the remaining terms. And when we look at this fourth power, if we do the chain rule on this full function, that doesn't really help us either. And so what we're left with is this 3 minus 10x cubed, which is the best choice for our u in u substitution. So we can let u equal 3 minus 10x cubed, and when we take du, we're going to get negative 30x squared dx. And so we can go ahead and simplify that a little bit more so that way it's very clear. And we'll get negative 1 over 30 du is going to be equal to x squared dx. And so the second step in using u substitution as an integration technique is we want to substitute our u and du terms back into the integral. And so we can see that our x squared dx terms are going to be our negative 1 over 30 du, and our 3 minus 10x cubed will be our u term. And so we can go ahead and rewrite our integral as shown here and then simplify it a little bit more so that way it's very clear as to what our integral is. And all we did was we just factored out our constant outside of the integral, which is a technique that we're able to do. And so now the next step is we can go ahead and integrate this u to the fourth du. And what we'll get is 1 over 5 u to the fifth multiplied by negative 1 over 30. This was just our constant that we factored out, plus c. And after a little bit of simplification, we'll get negative 1 over 150 u to the fifth plus c. And the last step is we can just back substitute our u term into the solution. So this u will get substituted with 3 minus 10x cubed. And so once we rewrite our term, our example in terms of x, this will be our solution.